A Delhi court has grabbed headlines and raised many eyebrows because of the judge's pronouncement that premarital sex is immoral. The court has gone on to say that no religion anywhere in the world allows or endorses premarital sex. What's ironic is that the judge's pronouncements actually come against the backdrop of quite a different case, where a woman actually petitioned the court accusing a man of rape because the man had sex with her but did not marry her. The court has said that sex on the promise of marriage that does not take place is not rape, something that the Supreme Court has also said. But the larger question is whether the court has invoked morality as it perceives it over constitutional rights. On the buck stops here today, we look at whether India's judiciary is still stuck in a bit of a confused time warp when it comes to issues of sexuality and gender rights. Introducing our panel this evening from Chennai, joining us now is well-known actress and of course now politician as well, Khushbu, somebody who has been at the receiving end of completely unnecessary and vile humiliation, both legal and societal, when she merely spoke about the fact that premarital sex was common and people needed to be mindful of unwanted pregnancies and mindful of safe sex. Also joining us today from Mumbai, well-known matrimonial lawyer, senior lawyer, Mrinalini Deshmukh. With me in the studio, Father Dominic Emmanuel. He's of course a spokesperson for the Delhi Church. And also joining me is Ranjana Kumari, the director for the Center for Social Research. Khushbu, I want to start with you, because no less than the highest court of this land, the Supreme Court of India, actually said that there is nothing immoral and there is nothing wrong if two adults choose to cohabit, if two adults choose to live together. They actually endorsed the comments you had made in an interview to a news magazine when you basically said what's wrong with premarital sex. In fact, the focus has to be on safe sex, on unwanted pregnancies, on HIV. That's what you were talking about. Because of that, you had to face more than 20 cases. You were pelted in some cases with chappals and eggs. You actually had to at some stage clarify your remarks, your perfectly commonsensical remarks. And I remember later you said maybe it's because I was a woman and an actor who combined together to make a sensible statement, and that's why I was hounded. Yet today, despite the Supreme Court's judgment, you have a Delhi court making the same sort of conservative pronouncement. Does this disturb you that our courts are so contradictory?
Definitely, courts are very contradictory, Barkha. When you look at it, the judgment which was given to me in 2010 by the Supreme Court of India and what the High Court says today in Delhi, it's absolutely contradicting each other. I think I was just lucky that I had a very abled person like CJI Balakrishnan and then Justice like Deepak Chauhan and Deepak Chopra and Mr. Chauhan who were there. I think it really helped me because they had a very wider foresee to what the situation was. And they were able to adapt with the situation, what is happening in the society. But the judgment which has come into the High Court today is definitely giving us setback.
Not the High Court, Khushbu, just to clarify, it's a local court. It's not the High Court. I just want to clarify that, but go ahead.
It's a local court. Well, that's again makes it a little more sense as to why the issues are so suppressed, because I think even the judges, when they give out the statement, they have to look into as to the happenings of the society. Nobody is saying endorse premarital sex. Nobody is saying endorse living a relationship. But I'm saying that it's between the two adults. You cannot label it as moral or immoral. Anything which two adults decide to have a life together, whether they're married or not, it's between them. And I don't think the judge or anybody else for that matter actually has the right to tell them that what you're doing is immoral or moral. Two definitely a thinking an adult person can decide
so two consenting adults and what they do, the court should not be in the bedroom when two consenting adults decide to make an informed.
They cannot walk into the house. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to walk into my house and tell me this is how you have to live and this is how you have to stay and sit and get up and sleep in your room. I mean, no court can guide me and tell me that, dictate terms and say that you have to sleep with your head in the east and your foot in the west. I mean, not acceptable.
Mrinalini Deshmukh, let me take this to you. You have Khushbu here who's been at the receiving end of humiliation till the Supreme Court intervened and really held up her right to express an opinion on premarital sex. But isn't the deeper question, Mrinalini, the fact that we have contradictory judgments from our courts. In the past, for example, you've had no less than the Supreme Court reducing the life sentence, the 10-year sentence rather, of a rapist because he agreed to pay 50,000 rupees to his victim. At other times, you've had the court giving contradictory judgments on whether not marrying is a basis enough to call it rape. Now, this judgment, this judge says just the refusal to marry cannot be construed as rape. But he also makes this sweeping generalization about premarital sex. Are you disturbed, Mrinalini, by this judgment?
Yes, I am disturbed to the fact that it is a very blanket statement which is being made regarding the premarital sex and whether that is acceptable in religions or not. I don't really find any connect between these two, number one. But what I would agree, because I've just read the media reports, and what I would agree with the part of the judgment is that when a woman voluntarily agrees to have a sexual intercourse with a man, whether on the promise of a marriage or not, but that woman, I believe, is fully aware, and especially an educated woman, as they have said, is fully aware of the consequences of entering into a sexual relationship with a person prior to marriage, may have been on the alleged promise of getting married, but if it doesn't happen, then claiming it to be rape, I think that's a complete distortion of what it is. According to me, a consensual sex which is there, then you cannot then take a claim that no, it was consensual, conditional consensual sex, based on a condition or a precondition that I would get married to you. Now that you are not getting married to me, now it's called rape. I don't think that's a correct interpretation, and that is a correct way I think the courts have determined with the with the issue of rape and of not promising to get married. But I do not agree. But I do not agree that there is any kind of, I do not know what really the court meant by saying that it is premarital sex is forbidden by religions, and all religions for that matter. I thought that was a little too sweeping without any direct references to what part of religion, and which particular code of the religion talks about it in this manner. And so I think, and in today's times, I think Barkha, in today's times, I think it's too antiquated a thought which is there. Especially when you're aware, when you're entering into a sexual relationship, you're aware of the ramifications of what is likely to happen. And when you do that, and then to claim rape would be incorrect in my understanding.
Can I quickly ask Khushbu before I take this to Father Dominic Emmanuel? Khushbu, when you made those comments as a free-thinking citizen of this country on premarital sex, were you startled by the backlash? I mean, you were pelted with eggs and chappals, as we've said. That's what you had to face for just expressing an opinion.
No, I was not startled at all, Barakah, because I thought the people who were pelting stones or throwing eggs or burning my effigies, I thought they were absolutely the kind of people who did not want to come out and who love to live in a very hypocritical society and the world created by themselves. And they wanted to come out saying that they were the moral policing people and they hold the entire society under them for moral policing. So I did not react to them because I thought it was a pure waste of my precious time reacting to them.